Checking in here. I made an observation when I was listening to the original Supreme Clientele. I got to Apollo Kids and I heard Ray on there. Ray and Ghost getting together, it's nothing. And I started thinking, like, yo, Ray's on a lot of classic albums. I know I did a video where I was talking about the 5 greatest hip hop albums ever. Only Built for Cuban Links is in that, in my five. And I also had a Kumina in that five. And I'm like, Ray's here twice. And then I'm like, okay, Supreme Clientele, he's there again. Then, you got other albums as well, which I'm going to get to. And I'm like, I think Ray may be part of, a part, or on, excuse me, 5+ albums that are top 25 hip hop albums all time. Now, let me say that again. I think that not only is Ray in that, but I think he's the only MC that we can say is on possibly 5 or 6 top 25 hip hop albums all time. Now, you guys correct me in the chat if I'm wrong, but let's start from the beginning. Into the 36 Chambers. Ray's on that. Ray is a pivotal part of the biggest song on there, Cream. First verse. I grew up on the crime side, the New York Times stars. Staying alive was no job. Had second hands. Mom bounced on old man. So you got Into the 36 Chambers. I think Into the 36 Chambers is a top 25 hip hop album all time. You guys. Boom. That's one. All right. So he's on there. Then you have his solo debut album, Only Built for Cuban Links. I think Only Built for Cuban Links is a top 25 hip hop album all time as well. That's 2. Then let's move on to 1998, right? Oh, no. Let me stay in 95. Stay in 95. Raekwon's on the Infamous. I think the Infamous is a top 25 hip hop album all time. The Infamous by Mobb Deep. Now, if you don't think so, whatever. I got another one for you. You know what I'm saying? So the Infamous, that's 3. So we got Into the 36 Chambers. We got Only Built for Cuban Links. We got the Infamous by Mobb Deep. All right. Boom. 1998. Outcast, Aquemini. I think Aquemini is Outcast's best album, easily. I think it's the best hip hop album to ever come out of the South. Yes, I said that, and I'll make that bold statement. And I think it's a top 25 hip hop album all time. Raekwon's on there too. He's on Skew It on the Barbie doing this thing, you know what I'm saying, with Dre and Big Boy. All right. So now let's recap. Into the 36 Chambers, top 25 hip hop album all time. Only Built for Cuban Links, top 25 hip hop album all time. You got the Infamous, I believe is a top 25 hip hop album all time. And you got Aquemini. That's 4 right there. All right, let's move on to 2000. Supreme Clientele. Now, for some, you might think it is, might think it isn't. I got Supreme Clientele as a top 25 hip hop album all time. I think it's the best hip hop album of the 2000s, in my personal opinion. So Ray is on there too. That's 5. And then boom, we can skip up to 2010. What's it 9? 10. All right. My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy by Kanye West, now known as Ye. That is a classic album, and many people would say that is a top 25 hip hop album all time. So we got 6 here. And even if you don't have these albums in your top 25 per se, we all know that these are classic albums. I didn't even count, Liquid Swords or whatever. You know what I mean? Like that could possibly be in the conversation too. But to say as an individual MC that you are on 5, 6, or possibly 7 top 25 hip hop albums of all time, I don't think that's anything that any other MC can say. Now, let me know in the comment section if you think that there is another MC that matches that. But in my personal opinion, and I was sitting there going through it, I'm like, Ray stands alone when it comes to that. Ray is the glue in many cases. I didn't even count Wu-Tang Forever. You know what I'm saying? Like Ray has been a part of a lot of classic pieces of work, some of the best albums that hip hop has ever had. And the funny part about it is it's not just some New York stuff. I mean, he did it with Aquemini. He's also on Tasha's Rap Life. You know what I mean? Like Ray has been able to spread love through all coasts. He's on Kanye's My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. So it's not just the East Coast thing. Like, I mean, when you're in the Wu-Tang, you do have a high gravity of being able to be on some classic albums because your group is making all kind of classics and individual classics. But Ray's been able to spread that out throughout others as well. And I'm not even counting all the other great efforts that he's a part of. He's on Hell on Earth as well. You know what I mean? But I'm talking about top 25 hip hop albums all time. Let me know if there's anybody else that you think has more appearances on top 25 hip hop albums all time over Ray, because I don't think there is. Hit that comment section, man. Hit like and subscribe. And I'm going to see you guys in a second.